You're all your dog is upset.
All the way in there. You mean take a sip of my water? Not yet. If it's anything like what I just described, I'd like to see it. Well, it helps to do that when you never take it off.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Okay, I guess.
This is audience participation. Please, for the love of God, you're making me feel like this is a horror movie. Thank you. Let me describe what it looks like up here to us. There's a lot of light and shadowy forms and like two unblinking fursuit heads staring at me. So if you don't respond, it really is like I'm in an Eli Roth movie, okay? I need you to make me feel like I'm not going to get killed by a guy in a fox suit tonight. How are you? How are you enjoying AnthrOhio so far? You all are aware this is a panel, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. One person listened to the fucking instructions I gave 2 seconds ago. I appreciate it. How many of you are, but I just dropped the F-bomb, I used the one.
Oops.
Yeah. Welcome to First FurCon. I know you were expecting Alkali. He's not here. He's in Las Vegas. I got the Columbus bookings. I got screwed. Yeah, I'm sorry. Vegas and Columbus, Ohio are two vastly different cities. First, let's start the way we always... Well, first, let's say who the heck we are. I am Boozy Badger.
Hi, I'm AnthrOhio.
I'm Jeru.
And how many of you, this is your actual first FurCon? Oh, wow. How many of you have any clue who we are? Wonderful. So from most of your perspectives, a fat guy in a blazer just got on stage and started yelling at you. How many of you, this is your first convention at all? Oh, wow. Like I'm seeing a lot of the same hands, and that's really frightening.
Welcome.
Yeah. Like what got into you that made you say, you know what, my first convention in any fandom, I want to go to the one with the dog people.
Oh, well, the other choices in this city are the bodybuilder convention and the other one with the dog people.
Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're going to have a great time. What this panel is we're going to give you some tips about how to handle your first FurCon and your first convention in general. Please forgive me. I'm not the one who normally headlines this panel. That's my friend, the one who's in Vegas right now doing a headline on a casino stage. So, Ed.
Hi.
How are you?
I am okay, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. Ed.
Hi.
What's the most important rule of any convention?
Don't be creepy.
Okay, no, yes, that's generally the most important rule of society in general.
Right.
Specifically for conventions, what's the most important rule?
You should probably get at least 6 hours of sleep. You should probably eat at least 2 meals a day, and you should probably shower at least once a day.
That is called what, Maslow's law?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yes.
Hierarchy of needs. The 6-2-1 rule, when you hear it, 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, 1 shower a day. Let's go over this real quick. What is sleep? It's easier to tell you what is not sleep. Monster energy drinks, not sleep. Caffeine pills, not sleep. Dozing for 20 minutes in a chair in the lobby, not sleep. The hotel would also like it if you did not sleep in the lobby.
Dozing for 30 minutes at the soundboard, also not sleep.
What is a meal? 2 meals a day. A meal is going to be, I normally say, some type of thing that involves food, protein, vegetables, but food, actual food, not a bag of gummy bears, not a single cracker, and a drink of some sort. Do not care what type of drink it is. What are things that are not food, Ed?
Booze.
Monster energy drink. I cannot stress to you how much none of the things that we're about to tell you are Monster energy drink. Please stop.
Potato chips are not a meal.
Yeah, no, I jokingly will tell people I'm an actual attorney, and we have a legal definition of what is food and what is snacks under the liquor code. Chips, not food, it's a snack. Now, at this convention, there's something that a lot of cons do not have with their hospitality suite. First, your hospitality suite is going to be open to all of you. Second, the hospitality suite will generally have some type of food in it. Be it snacks, be it water, be it hot dogs, be it bread and peanut butter. If you don't like what they have in there, you are in the middle of downtown Columbus, Ohio. There are plenty of little groceries and stores around here. Go to it and for $10 to $15 buy yourself some bread, some lunch meat, and some cheese. You can eat very cheap at one of these conventions.
There is.
So all this is important because hopefully you're here for the full weekend. And yep, you might be able to get by normally with like 3 hours of sleep, but doing that day after day, it wears down your immune system. We've got a lot of people here from all over the place. Your immune system's not equipped to fight all the things that are going to be having fun around here. We want you to be able to be feeling good and happy on your final day, on your trip home. So when you're back with family and friends, you're perky as you share about your wonderful experiences here and not just barely living on the couch. And also a lot of us have to go back to work. If you want your employer to say when you're coming here again next year or to other free events, sure, go. It's rejuvenated you. You've perked up. You're more positive because you had this wonderful experience versus please don't go. We hate it when you go because when you come back, you're not productive for the next 3, 4, 5 days.
Other important reasons why you need to get enough sleep here. At some point, some of you may have to drive home. And I don't know how long that is, but it also doesn't matter because if you fall asleep on the road, you don't get to finish driving home. Some of you are probably walking more this weekend than you generally do in your life. And when you start to exhaust your body, you can injure yourself doing the most mundane things. So just get some rest. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sore, it's okay to go lay down. You might miss a panel or something you want to check out, but that's better than missing the whole weekend because you get sick or injure yourself.
Now the 6 and the 2, that is for you. That is to keep you healthy, to keep you safe, and to keep you enjoying your weekend. The 1, that's for us. 1 shower a day. People in the past have said, why do they stress that 1 so much? It's like they feel like we're children and they have to tell us to shower. I've been doing this for almost a decade now on stage. Some of you have to be told what a shower is. 99% of you know how to shower and will do so. 1% of you do not understand this concept and we will be around you. All right? Who knows? How many of you have gone into a bakery? How many of you know what do bakeries exist anymore? Is it all Amazon? Do you go to the Roblox store and get a muffin? Is that
actually?
I'm in my 40s. I don't understand.
Kroger's industrial bakery is nearby. And
Okay.
sometimes on 70 you can just smell bread.
So you know when you're in a place and they baked cookies and you smell the cookies, right? And after 10, 15 minutes, you don't smell the cookies anymore, right? And that's because all the cookies are gone, right? No, it's because you've gotten used to the smell of the cookies. So when you're around a smell long enough, you get used to it. You don't notice it anymore. And here you're going to be around a lot of things. You're going to be around panelists. You're going to be around other people. And you're going to be around yourself. You cannot smell yourself. We can smell you. If you can smell yourself, you have ignored us for far too long on the shower rule. And because there is once again confusion on what a shower is, I'm going to break it down.
Monster Energy drink?
How many of you have been... You know what, at this point, I'll take any liquid. How many of you have been outdoors? Outdoors is the place where the big fireball lives in the sky. Wonderful, wonderful. How many of you have been outdoors when the water falls from the big blue thing? Wonderful. That is called rain. It happens outside. In your hotel room, there is a magic box. That magic box produces the outside water from the sky. You want to turn it on, climb into the magic box. Taking your clothes off is optional at this point. And stand under the magic rainwater. You want to take a bar of soap. Soap will be the little white bar. Or if you're staying in one of our hotel showers, behind you there will be 3 bottles. One of them will say gel douche. That is not a nickname for an asshole who's a goofer. That is soap. Put it on the towel, rub it over your body, stand under the magic water. You may then leave. That is a shower. Showers are not Axe body spray. Showers are not cologne. Showers are all of those things that we have discussed. Please, for the love of God, shower. Just please, shower. Okay? And you're like those of you who have never been to a con before, you think I'm exaggerating, but at some point this weekend, you will get into an elevator, and when somebody else steps out, you'll go, I see what the Badger was saying.
I'm just thinking of my day job, and like the MASH theme is playing in my head as I remember all the teenagers. That's like, shh, I'm good.
And we do joke about that one, the 61, but the truth of the matter is, it is important, because for a lot of you, this is your first convention. For others, this is your first furry convention, or your first AnthrOhio. And there's a lot of stuff to do here. You're going to have friends that you maybe have never seen in person before, you've only met online that you're meeting here. There's going to be panels you want to go see, there's going to be dances, there's going to be performances. You're going to want to do these things. And it is really easy in the course of trying to do all of it to lose track of the fact that you do have basic needs. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to bathe. Otherwise, you will get very, very sick. My good friend AnthrOhio, once again, on stage in Las Vegas as we speak, has a story about how his first furry convention, he got dropped off and he decided he wanted to do all the things, and he ran around doing all the things, and he had a great time up until about 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, where because he had not slept, ate, or showered, he became basically deathly ill and ended up spending the rest of the convention in bed. We don't want that to happen to you. We want you to have a wonderful time, and that starts with taking care of yourself. When we talk about taking care of yourself, though, that also means that you need to know some basic safety rules, especially those of you, this is your first convention, this is your first furry convention. There's some special things about furry conventions that you do not know yet. And one of them is standing at the end of this table. That's right, Jaru, wanted in 27 states for fraud. Jaru is wearing a fursuit. What is a fursuit, Ed?
This is a fursuit.
Wonderful, Ed. I was kind of looking for a definition. We were going to lead into some things here.
Any sort of costume which is representing your persona, or maybe a character from a movie or a cartoon that you like. It could be a full suit like this. It could be just a head and paws.
Now, Ed said one word, I'm going to correct Ed. Ed said the word costume. And we hear that a lot. What's a fursuit? It's a costume. It's a mascot suit. A fursuit is more than that. These are walking pieces of art. The majority of the fursuits in this fandom are handmade. They are bespoke items of art made by creators to order for their clientele on this. And more than that, more than being a piece of art, most of the people who do fursuit in this fandom have a personal connection to their fursuit. It is a huge part of not only their, I don't want to say identity, that sounds, but it is, to a large extent, a part of their identity. It's a way that they can be maybe a different character than they normally get to play. It's a way that they can cut loose, it's a way that they can relax, or that they can entertain. They are very, very meaningful to people. So we have some certain rules about it. But first, before we get into that, I want a, just show of hands. Who thinks they know what the current record for a fursuit on sale is? Yes? 2,500 or yes?
Are we talking about partials, heads, or?
Doesn't matter, any type.
I would say around 2,500.
2,500 up? Yes?
It's only about 60,000.
That's very close. That's very close. I believe the current record is about halfway between 60,000 and 70,000, somewhere in there, for a full quad suit. That's a suit with all four legs on the ground. That was actually made by the same FX studio that did costumes for the Alien franchise. How many of you have $60,000 in your bank account right now? Okay, Ian, you need to be friends. I always open this up. AnthrOhio opens it up with a very nice part about so respect this, so respect that. I'm going to open it up with the scary part, because as I told you at the beginning, I am an actual attorney. And if you damage someone's property, you know what they get to do? They get to sue you. And most of us don't have 60 grand. Trust me, you do not want to file bankruptcy, and when they ask what happened, your response be, I pulled on the fox's tail. Okay? So with that in mind, what are some rules you have? First, with fursuiters, they're soft, they're fuzzy, they're cute. You cannot touch a fursuit without their consent. Okay, a fursuit, just wearing one, it's not consent, it's not saying that. But say you want to know how it feels, right? You can look at them. May I feel that? Wonderful. And right there, the arm, the hand. Okay, don't grab, don't pull. Don't yank. Why? Well, because they look cute and it looks like fur and it may even feel like fur. It's not fur. It will not grow back. It will not grow back. There are some other rules on that. You just saw that one, which is, say you want to get a hug from a fursuiter. A lot of our fursuiters are wonderful with giving hugs. Right there, that's how you ask. May I have a hug? Yes, there we go. And this is just a ploy to get close to Jowry. That's all it is. The panels, it's all fake for this moment. Now, say that Jowry doesn't want a hug. That's the wave off. That's no. And don't take it personally if that happens. They're not waving you off because of you. Unless you're not following the one rule, then it may be because of you. What they tend to be waving you off of is...
Well, there can be a number of reasons. Sometimes it's because I've been out all day and I've been running and I've been dancing and I'm sweaty and I don't want you to smell me stinky or get my stink on you. Other times it's because I'm dehydrated, I need to get to the Headless Lounge and get some water, or I'm to a panel, I'm trying to meet friends, and everyone wants their picture with me. My friends get frustrated because it takes me 47 minutes to get from this end of the hall to that end of the hall, and at some point I gotta just kind of say, sorry, but I need to catch back up to my friends.
If you see a fursuiter ever go like this, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get water, get out of their way, or help them. And if you are a fursuiter, and this is your first con, if you are dehydrated, do this. Someone will know, and someone will probably help you get some water.
Now, Jowry just said the words Headless Lounge. And what the Headless Lounge is at these conventions, it is a room specifically for fursuiters. We have a lot of fursuiters in this fandom, and there have been, over the years, a variety of rules, for lack of a better word, for fursuiting that have developed, and some people follow them religiously. One of them is called breaking the magic. And a lot of fursuiters will say, I don't want to break the magic. That means I don't want to take off my head in public. I don't want to take off parts of the fursuit in public. So we have an area called the Headless Lounge. That is an area just for fursuiters. Typically, they will have a handler, which is a non-fursuit person, to help them in there. Once they are in there, they can take off their head, they can get water, they can sit in front of a fan and cool down. There are a few rules that, one, if you're not a fursuiter, don't try to go into the Headless Lounge. Two, if you are in the Headless Lounge, there is no photography in the Headless Lounge. Please respect that. If you do not respect that and a report is received, the safety team will be notified and somebody will speak to you about it. When we do say the water on that goes not only for fursuiters, all of you, hydrate yourselves. There are water stations all throughout this convention. Okay? And that actually leads into another question on fursuit safety. Ed, you look like you have something you desperately want to say.
I was just also going to say there's bottles of water and hospitality upstairs if you need one. But when it comes to fursuiters, stop looking at me for a second. Gotta look that way. Gotta look that way.
Stare out front, Jowry. Here's the best, I know what Ed's getting ready to do. Jowry.
Yeah.
I'm going to put one hand on the left side of your head, one hand on the right.
All right.
When you can see my hand, raise your corresponding hand, okay?
Yep.
All right, so that is the side-to-side vision. Same thing top to bottom. There by there. That is Jowry's vision.
No peripheral vision and nothing below the snoot. And that can be an issue because there's things down there, aren't there? There's chairs, there may be boxes down there, there may be plants, there may be children. There are children down there. Okay, and while I have kids and it is hilarious to watch a wolf just punt a toddler, the cons insurance doesn't like it.
It breaks my heart too.
Not as much as it brings to kids.
I've cold cocked a couple little kids over the years. I've been doing this for 11 years in this suit alone, so yeah, it does not feel good to do that to someone.
I have actually heard people say, like, I try to talk to the fursuiters and they ignore me, but then I witness, like, they don't know you're there. You got to be in front of them and get their attention.
Which brings up, if you see a fursuiter walking, there is something in their path and there's something below them. It is completely acceptable to go, hey, chair. It's fine. No, it is fine. Matter of fact, a lot of the times they're going to go, because they appreciate not falling and breaking their nose inside the fursuit.
I've bruised many a shin and kneecap, so yes.
And as Ed just said, that limited vision means that you need to be aware of that when you're around a fursuiter. Please don't cut a fursuiter off. There's a very good chance they do not see you coming in from the side. When you're coming up from behind a fursuiter, it may not be a bad idea to let them know, hey, I'm coming up on your right. Okay? These are just small things that you can do to make sure you have a good time, you stay safe, and that they stay safe during the convention.
And if a fursuiter does bump into you, and it's going to happen at some point, don't take it personally. They will probably apologize and just say, okay, it's cool. Because now you understand that they had no idea you were there.
Thank you, boy. I got a horseshoe.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, they gave me a horseshoe.
I'm trying to think of any other fursuit rules.
Yeah, well, and again, when you ask to pet, a lot of the fur, it's like animal with the way it goes, so pet down, going this way, you're going against the grain, and that puts more wear and tear. And as Boozy said, yeah, be careful, ears and stuff. A lot of the suits are just hand sewn or hot glued. They cannot take a whole lot of abuse. It takes a lot of care to keep these suits going year by year. But we do love to take photos. So again, that's another universal action, is to kind of go like that. Or if it's a video, let us know it's a video, so we're not just frozen and you've got a video of us just standing still for 27 seconds.
Like for most of them, yes. For this one in particular, do not tell him it's a video. I just want to watch Jaru.
Unless you want to do the amazing thing I saw at MCFC where someone stood in place for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's amazing.
With a camera running.
It was hilarious. Yeah, that was fantastic.
A couple of just really small rules on that, and they're not small, they're actually very important. You heard me say earlier, a fursuit is not consent, okay? Please do not hug a fursuiter without asking. Do not walk up behind a fursuiter and grab them, even if you know them. Even if you know them, even if you've met them, you meet somebody who's a fursuiter earlier today, you know what they look like, you know what their fursuit looks like, you see them on the floor tomorrow, and you go up to them and you grab them for a hug from behind. Don't do that. One, you don't know everybody's health issues. They may have a reason not to be grabbed. Two, you don't actually know who's in the suit. The furry fandom is one of the few places in the world it is acceptable to look at someone and go, I want to wear your skin. And they may say yes. They may say yes. There is a thing in the furry fandom where the way people will decide, do I want a fursuit? Maybe I want to try this out. Is a friend may let them wear their fursuit. You don't actually know who's in that suit. They may not know you. I say this and I'm stressing it because it has happened to me and it was very awkward.
There's a range of things. Some people in the fam do have back issues. I've actually had people that love to give great big bear hugs, and I'm a little bit on the smaller and lighter side, so I've been lifted up from behind and swung around. I've had both my lower ribs cracked by doing that. I had someone give me a big bear hug that was wearing a big flat pin, and they cracked the top rib. I had a karate kid come at me and cut my claws and bend it back and pop the knuckle off my finger. So yeah, please be careful with us.
What we're getting at is fursuiting is not a full contact sport.
Yes.
Please do not make it one. Now, we've talked about fursuiter safety, and there's one really last point that we do have to point out, and this is just looking out for everybody here. If one of you is not wearing a fursuit and you are in distress at any point this weekend, it is going to be fairly obvious to most people. All right? They're going to see you. You are overheating. You have collapsed. You are crying. You are upset. You are injured. If that happens, there is a security team here. It's a safety team, I should say. The safety team is going to be located up where ConOps is, near where Reg is. They're also going to see them all around the convention. Most of them are going to be wearing gray jumpsuits. They'll have little badges, say AnthrOhio, safety, or security. I forget which one they read. When you see them, you can go up to those people and you can tell them that there is a problem. Likewise, you're going to see Ed, show people your staff badge. Jaru, show people your staff badge. Yeah. This badge, this white lanyard, that indicates it's staff at the con. If something has happened, you can go to one of these staff members. If something happens with a staff member, go to con ops. Please let them know about it immediately. That is to keep you safe and everybody else safe at this convention. With fursuiters, you may actually come across a fursuiter this weekend, maybe outside the dance. And they're going to be so cute, sitting in that chair, having a nap. Right? Just in their suit. Oh, look how cute that is. Except you don't know. Because they could be dead in a fox suit. People overheat. At AnthrOhio, one of the largest furry conventions in the world, no, right now the largest, we took a thermometer. We put it inside a fursuit head. Now, this was Pittsburgh, and it was July. But who wants to guess what the temperature of that fursuit head, no cooling mechanism, nothing, who wants to guess what that came to? Yeah. 110? Up.
125.
125? Up.
Oh.
140-ish, closest. 136 degrees. 136 degrees in the fursuit. Fursuiters can overheat. If a fursuiter is, say, outside the dance, a lot of fursuiters will go to the dance in suit, they will dance in suit, they will sit down to rest. Maybe they will pass out. It is always okay to go up and say, are you all right? Jaru, are you all right? Am I going to accept that? No. You know why? What's the first thing to go when you overheat? Your ability to effectively communicate. You can say, are you all right? And they can. It's okay to go, I need a verbal response.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh, perfectly fine. Why? Because when you say, are you all right? And they nod and they go, I need a verbal response. And they go, the kittens are in the pantry. You need to get them medical help. And I say you need to get them medical help, not provide medical help. Are any of you licensed nurses, EMTs, or doctors? Wonderful. Do not try to remove the fursuit head. You do not know what is going on in there. Maybe they have a neck injury that you are going to make worse by removing the fursuit head. What you do is you stay with them and you point to two people and you say, you, please go get security. You, get out your phone in case we need to call 911. You do not say, somebody please go get safety, somebody get their phone out. There have been studies. If you say, somebody please go get safety, the group of people will assume that somebody is somebody else, that somebody else is doing it. Give them the job. Please go get safety.
Okay? I want to bring these up.
Go right ahead.
So when we were mentioning things like, ask first if you want to hug a costumer, or fursuiter. Or in general, if you have any social anxiety, or especially since this is your first FurCon, you might get overwhelmed. We have these handy badges up in registration that you can wear, and you can change between green which says, come and talk to me, yellow, which says, do I know you? And red, which says, not right now. You can, without needing to verbally tell people, hey, I'm not good right now. I'm just going back to my room, or I'm just going someplace quiet. Please don't stop me. Or, hey, come and talk to me. I'm available. I'm ready to meet new people. I'm up for whatever. Or, just people I already know. So if you have social anxiety, you may have seen something like this before. I know during COVID there was a lot of this too, whether you felt comfortable with people approaching you or you wanted people to stay back. So we've got this little system. These 3 badges are free to take. There's a bunch of them up at registration. You see someone wearing these, now you know, hey, they want you to... Oh, okay. You can put them behind your badge and it will just show the color. And hopefully people will respect that, whatever you say your state is.
Now, when we get into you being safe at the con, we do mean physical safety, we mean emotional safety, and this is where I get to be Captain Buzzkill. Woo! Because we also mean your legal safety. How many of you are 21?
15.
How many of you, well, I should say 21 or over. Okay, good. You all understood what except for you in the orange shirt, because you did not raise your hand the first time. You just took the letter of what I said and ran with it. I appreciate that. The pedantry is my bread and butter. Thank you. Some of you are going to be drinking this weekend. I know, coming from a guy whose name is Boozy, that's amazing, right? Please be safe when you are drinking, okay? You're going to meet people, you're going to have drinks. Follow all the normal rules you would anywhere else. Don't let your drink out of your sight. Make sure you're with people you know, or the people you know where you are. And most importantly, if you are throwing a room party or you are having people over to have drinks with you in your room while you are here, you are legally responsible for what occurs inside your room. If you do not ID people when they walk into your room where there is alcohol, that is on you. Let me tell you what happens from experiences I have had with my clients. When the police show up at a party and they find someone under the age of 21 with alcohol and nobody will own up to having provided them with the alcohol, the police obviously just throw their hands up, say, we can't figure it out, and leave, right? No. They charge everybody over the age of 21 in the room with providing alcohol to a minor, and they don't care which one or if all of you get convicted, but one of you will. It is your responsibility. Likewise, if con staff finds out that you are providing alcohol to people under the age of 21 on convention premises, I can't speak directly for the con, but I can guarantee you there's a really good chance that you may no longer be a guest of AnthrOhio after that point. It may not only be alcohol, you may be here with certain substances. People come here from all over the country with varying laws on certain substances. Those substances tend to be green and they tend to grow out of the ground. In Ohio, possession of up to 70 grams of marijuana for adults aged 21 and over is legal. Anything over that is not legal. Providing marijuana to anybody under the age of 21 is not legal. Selling marijuana in any quantity without the appropriate license is not legal. You cannot smoke marijuana and drive your vehicle. I know I'm sounding harsh. It's because I don't want you to go in front of a judge in Ohio. I'm not telling you not to have a good time. I'm asking you to do it safely. Okay? I would like a verbal answer. Thank you. Now we can go back to being goofballs.
And if you do wish to partake in something that is smoky, don't do it in your hotel room. Please.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's just nicotine or non-nicotine vape, if it's got THC in it or not, if it's normal cigarettes. This is a non-smoking facility. And then I forget the regulations for Ohio, but you've got to be so far away from any entrance or exit.
It's normally 25 to 150 feet. When you go outside the door of the hotel at the front, you're going to look to the left and the right. There's going to be ashtrays. That tends to be the distance you need to be away. I know that some of you are thinking, what are they going to do? When you agreed to attend and you picked up this badge, you agreed to terms and conditions, which include rules of conduct for the convention. Those are not the only rules that matter. The hotel is going to have its own set of rules. This leads to the last of the buzzkill warnings. If a member of hotel staff asks you to stop doing something, stop doing it. If you have a problem with the member of hotel staff asking you to stop doing it, you think you are being told to do that unfairly, you think that they are targeting you, please go to ConOps and let a member of staff know. There are hotel liaisons on staff with the convention. I trust you that throughout the week, or I assure you throughout the weekend, they will be meeting with the hotel and that will be brought up.
Yeah, and hopefully, if anyone should approach you from our staff or safety team, please respect them. They're looking out for you. If they're bringing you the heads up and you stop whatever the action is, all's well and good. If you don't listen to them or the hotel finds out about it first, there's a different level of consequences, and we don't want you to have to deal with that.
So, I was going to just, because we talked about drinking, that was the buzzkilly part of drinking. Now about the safety thing. First for a con, you might be at a party and you might not have been around this much alcohol before. Does anybody know what the best thing to pair with any alcohol is?
Me.
Water.
Water. If you're drinking alcohol, you should also be drinking water. That is just to keep yourself well. That is also just so you don't have a hangover in the morning. If you are at a room party and everybody is drinking and you don't want to drink, don't drink. You do not have to drink to have a good time. If you are at a room party or if you are at a room and there is anything going on that you want absolutely no part of, you can leave. And if someone tries to stop you from leaving a room at any time, that is, let our safety team know. That is not okay. But you are here at your first con. We want you to try new things. We want you to experience new things. We want you to have fun. But if you ever get into any situation and you're like, I don't want to be in here anymore, you are free to leave, and anybody who tells you otherwise is wrong.
So kind of moving into other aspects of the furry conventions and the fun. So you might have heard like Comic-Cons, anime cons. There's a lot of similarity and overlap in sci-fi cons, but about all those are paying homage to other people's creations. One of the wonderful things about the furry fandom is, for the most part, it's our own creations, our own personalities, our own conceptions. So we've got an amazing creativity in this fandom, and people are basically who they are. We don't have a lot of false walls within this fandom. If we're open about this kind of craziness, there's not a whole lot that we hide. So people make deep friendships very, very quickly within this fandom. And then they've shared, almost all of our programming is provided by our attendees, not by our staff.
You're going to see in this book, in this booklet, and at the QR code on the back of your badge, there's a schedule for things that are going to go on this weekend. Maybe you're here, you don't know what you want to do, you don't know anybody. I encourage you, look at these things. And by the way, the online schedule, always the most up-to-date. So things do sometimes change, not very often. But there's a lot of different things in here. You're going to have people from all over the country and from all walks of life who are trying to put programming together from this fandom. There will be a photography meet and greet this afternoon. There will be board games in the game room. High tea at Badgerton, that's a new one. There's going to be, and this is actually why I agreed to do this panel, because I get to advertise my crap. Today at 4:20, I'm going to be doing Lawyer Horror Stories. That is going to be a Q&A where you get to ask questions, and I kind of sit there and act like I'm answering them while I tell you something that entertains you. Iggy, down here in the front row, who does game shows and performances all over the fandom, is going to be doing their improv show tonight, going to be helping us with the improv panel on Sunday. That is Charity Who's Line. Iggy, what else do you have?
Scribbles and Bits Saturday morning, and we have your masturbation.
So, and I'm going to jump in since you mentioned the word charity. That's another unique thing for furry conventions, is about every furry convention around the world is very charity-minded. So our charity is going to be out here, Ohio Nature Education. They're here to raise funds, share their knowledge and interests about helping injured animals. They're going to have a couple panels in panel room, I think it was 2. But keep track of your schedule. We've got a lot of fundraisers for them. They're here for the 3rd year because they're well-deserved.
We have panels this weekend on hypnosis, safe for work panels on hypnosis. We have a Shakespeare reading by a skunk. We have shows about bands, talking about what they want to do and performances there. We have panels about bats. We have panels about accessibility within the furry fandom. You're going to have concerts for people like Citrine the Husky. Look at the schedules. A lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of people on those schedules who do these sorts of things, especially when it comes to your performances, pretty much professionally or semi-professionally. Myself, Icky, Citrine, a lot of us will be doing this throughout there, and we do this all over the country. We'd love to see you out there, and we'd love for you to go out, find something in that book that you are interested in, and go see other people's things as well. Remember, you always get out of these conventions what you put into them.
Well, so, and I happen to be leading a goofy writing panel, so get the rules tonight and turn those in on Sunday. So there's a lot of good-natured things. And then as we talk about the variety of creativity within this fandom, along this outside wall, we've got Artist Alley. They're going to be changing each day who's at those tables, but they'll do badge artwork. So if you've got a character that you would like to have, do you have one on?
I got
You don't have any?
Yeah.
You can get different badge art. And they also do other artwork. Then behind us is Dealer's Den. They'll have a lot of pre-made things, but they'll also do commissions. They'll be having fursuit parts, stuffed animals, prints that they've worked on. So really encourage you to explore the range of art and creativity that's for sale. And again, there's some panels that get into different creative arts as well. And some are just meet and greets of people of like minds and interests. We're people. We have ranges of interest outside the fandom, but we incorporate it within the fandom too.
I did want to point out, because some of you probably already realize this, but some people do need to be told, all of this creativity came from a start somewhere. So this is your first con. If there's some sort of, you want to make a fursuit, you want to write, you want to draw, you want to start a band. There's all sorts of different panels and also different people who are already in that space. Ask them for ideas on how to get started. Go to a panel and get some advice on how to start. But everybody started from somewhere. Everybody has a crappy first fursuit that they built, and they learned a lot, and then their second one was great. Or everyone has little doodles that they don't want you to see because they're bad, but only comparatively to where they are now. They were fine for starting out, and then you learn, and then you get better. Everybody starts from somewhere, and it's never too late for you to, if you see something you want to get involved with.
And it's always fun to approach people and ask for it. If you want to do comedy and stand-up performances, back off. This is my shtick. That was for you, Iggy.
This is a very supportive fandom. It's a place to stretch your wings, try new things, and like I say, people will give you maybe constructive criticism, but it's almost always constructive and positive the way it's expressed. Even like our Fursuit dance competitions, it's amazing. The love that's shown is wonderful.
Very honestly, and we do normally have an open mic panel. The gentleman who normally runs it, a very good friend of ours, is not here this weekend, so it did not make it on the schedule. But one of the things that we say at the opening of that panel when people come up, no heckling, everyone's supportive. The furry fandom, if you're doing something for the first time, is one of the most supportive places you are going to find to do it. If you want to try something out that you've never done before, this is the place to try it. That said, we have about 10 minutes and we have time for questions. Wonderful. I'm having flashbacks to grade school.
I'm having flashbacks to every day of my working life.
Yes.
You were mentioning about people in the suit earlier.
Yes.
The thing is, a few years back, I got a wonderful suit from a friend of mine who decided to retire with. It's a wonderful werewolf that some people saw. The thing is, 2 years later, I was at a convention called Birthright, and I was taking a bit of fresh air from outside, and I got one of the wonderful hugs from somebody, and I said, well, you're probably expecting snappy, but I'm not snappy. And the funny thing is you can see how tall I am. And Snappy is a good 1.5 feet taller than me. And I was like, how in hell could you have mistaken? So even if you think, you're seeing the same person, people don't see those details. So it's very important to really make sure about those kind of things.
Thank you very much. In the back.
I was wondering if you guys hosted there been enough to meet and greet this year.
That is a question for these wonderful people here because I have not really looked at the schedule. I'll just be honest.
Therian and Otherkin, you meant?
Yes.
Yeah, Therian and Otherkin.
So I know that we had a lot of species meet and greets that were going to be scheduled, and they were going to be in here, but then we had the opportunity to have the group photo and parade, and that was the only time we could make that work. So a lot of the species-specific meet and greets that we were hoping to have, like I say, they got superseded by the parade once that became a possibility. But whatever's on the online schedule, that's the most up-to-date and correct.
The thing to remember, if you're not seeing something on the scheduling that you have seen in the past and you're missing it, there has been a large change in location. The older location of this convention had some more paneling space available. This is their first year here. They will, I hope, be growing, and as it grows, more space will be available and more things will be able to go on to the panels.
So, is there a good social, like if say they want to get together, is there a good space around the hotel for them?
Yeah, so a couple things. So yeah, one, and I should have spoken in the mic before, I forgot I had it. But yeah, when we moved here, we lost secondary events. But this was to get our foot in the door, and that's also why we're on kind of an awkward weekend. Going forward, we should be back to our normal weekend, and we are in talks with the hotel to kind of keeping an eye on how we treat them this year, how many attendees we have and stuff. So if you guys all work well at the hotel, they're going to be happy to start letting us expand into more places. We can have more going on. And then you're talking about places to meet and greet and hang out.
They want to socialize.
So 2 floors up from here is the gallery. That's where you look up and see the whole atrium for this tower of the hotel. There's a restaurant there that's called the Gallery, and it's open seating. They do serve breakfast and brunch in there. After they're done serving at noon, they're happy to let us hang out in that area. The left-hand side as you face it will be set for the next morning's meal, so please leave napkins and silverware and stuff in place if you can, but they know things happen. The right side, though, they are going to wait till the next morning to set that space, so that's going to be free and open. We've got access to the entirety of the open space of the convention center. The Greater Columbus Convention Center has big, wide open areas, so as long as it's not blocked off by a door, that's public space. There's some beautiful areas on the south entrance. There's kind of a stair step thing with almost like a slanted, almost like a side of a pyramid glass window, which is beautiful. Like I say, as long as you're not going into, because we connect into a couple other hotels in the convention space, as long as you're not going to enclosed areas, that's public space you can hang out in.
Any other questions? All right. Well, folks, it's been great talking to you this morning. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, so you guys mentioned the parade tomorrow. They are calling for thunderstorms.
So we've got
Wet puppies all through Columbus.
So we're going to be meeting, and we're going to have plenty of helpers pointing the way, but we're going to be starting at the north end of the Greater Columbus Convention Center. So it is public space, but the Columbus Convention Center is where we're going to be there. They've given us permission. So if you go over there, there's this big, giant art installation head where you can go in behind it and have your face 360-degree photographed, and then they'll display it on there, and they rotate them through. But so that's where we're going to meet for the photo. If the weather allows, we're going to go out the north doors there, and we're going to stay on the block, so we're not crossing any city streets, come back down alongside the convention center, and re-enter in a connecting hallway, so we're not bothering people with temperature changes and breezes when we leave that door open for an excessive amount of time. If the weather does not permit, the convention center, that whole length is extremely high ceilings, extremely wide hallways, so we'll just march back in a line coming back. So there's plenty of room for photographers to be spread out. You're not going to have to be 3, 4, 5 people deep. There's going to be a nice long line, so it's not going to be like the last time we had our last Fursuit parade at our old hotel where the tail was still waiting in our main events while the head was already returning. We've got plenty of space for everyone to come down. But yeah, we're going to keep an eye out, and I forget what
There is a rain plan. That's the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, it's the Midwest, so any weather prediction is just a guess.
But so either way, there will be a parade.
All
There's
right.
plenty of visibility for it.
Did that spur any new questions for anyone? Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for coming here. I hope you have a great rest of your con. If you see us around, feel free to come up and say hi. We love meeting you as much as we hope you have a great time here. And we'll talk to you a little later today.